2 Monday night against the Steelers, and I know you liked what the Steelers did in the offseason. Let's start on that offensive line. It wasn't great a season ago. They draft Broderick Jones, and then they also sign a free agent, Isaac Seumalo.
You're going to see Jones here. He's out of pin and pull. Then you can see him at the left tight end here. And goal line said he's going to block down on that inside leverage. Then you're going to say Seumalo for when he was with the Eagles. He's very, very aggressive. And what the Steelers have done, they found guys that kind of fit Mike Tomlin's persona on both sides of the ball. So if you look at their first picks, you got Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, Darnell Washington, and Nick Herbert. All guys who, in my opinion, they fit that Steeler mode. This guy, Broderick Jones, is a guy who can block in space. He's a guy who's a mauler. So him and Seumalo are guys who are going to improve that run game with Najee Harris. The reason that affects the Browns because the Browns went out and signed Tomlinson. They've drafted Ika. This has been a concern for the Browns, the ability to stop a power run game. The Steelers are getting back to their identity with these two, the free agent pick and then Jones. So they're going to test the Browns in the run game. They're going to see if the Browns have gotten better in the run game with these guys and Najee Harris. So it should be very interesting.
Yeah, and so also in the draft, on the defensive side of the ball, they drafted a couple of guys that we kept talking about with the Browns. Keanu Benton, defensive tackle, and a guy that was we kept talking about and looking at from Wisconsin.
So for me, this was my favorite defensive tackle in terms of point of attack. He's a guy who is an anchor in there. I don't think, even though he has made some sacks in college, I don't think he's going to be a splash guy in the NFL. I think he's going to be a guy who's very reliable. He's going to be a guy, here you see him line up in the center. He's going to drive that center back. He lines up in 2-eye. The center tries to block back, and he just pushes the center straight back. Last year, the Browns, for example, the Browns had 60 carries for 305 yards, most of that Nick Chubb in the two games they played. Keanu Benton has been brought in to kind of help with that. Obviously they wanted to improve their run game. Now they've added a guy who can stop the run a little bit more, something they need to do against the Browns in terms of how the Browns have had great success. The Browns have averaged over 5 yards per rush the last couple games on them. So, again, a guy who fits a need, a guy who, for the Browns are they're answering what the Browns do well in the drafting for free agency.
Another guy, also from the Big Ten that we talked a lot about for the Browns, Nick Herbig, another guy that the Steelers went out and got.
So this is a Watt clone, right? This is the guy in that odd front coming off the edge who's going to be fantastic for these guys. You and I have talked about it in the past. Here he is with an arm over move coming off the edge. He's a little bit undersized. He's kind of a tweener, which kind of allowed him to slide down a little bit. I think he's an amazing talent. I think he can play with linebacker. He's a matchup guy. I thought he'd been great in the Browns fit. Steelers, he's even better. And more importantly, he fits that need. So, again, a guy who is a tough guy who plays with an incredible motor. He's very much like those edge rushers, the Harrisons, the Watts, those guys that the Steelers have had in the past. This guy fits that mold. He's absolutely relentless. I think he's going to be outstanding for the Steelers. He's so good off the edge. Even right now, he can just be a situational nickel guy and coming in pass rush. But again, a guy who the Browns are going to throw the ball more, and now they got a guy who can rush the passer. So again, this AFC North is really, they filled their needs, and they're getting people who can help them win.